Welcome to episode 21 of the Global Exclusive Podcast. I'm your host, Hazard. Joining me this week is Baros.
I actually got my Squall with 0 resources. That's pretty cool.
Cotton Sea.
Damn it, Baros pulled again.
Dreamblitz.
Whatever.
And Muspel.
Why does White Knight Noel, the largest tank, not simply eat the others?
This is
Like in a sexual way or in a
No,
normal way?
Muspel, you had to talk about
It's-
eating.
No,
Why?
I'm
Certainly
just
came
assuming
out
Muspel
left
actually...
field.
This sounds like Muspel read his fanfic.
No, like I could see Baros' reply coming from a mile away as soon as Muspel said that, okay?
It's a Futurama joke, damn it.
Okay.
Shadow Walker's not here this week due to some personal financial deals he's got going on that he's got to get done. So we'll excuse him.
Wait, if
Is he
Shadow
dealing
isn't
drugs?
here...
I can
Shut
neither
up, Baros.
confirm nor deny what his activities are.
Shadow is not
No,
here,
wait.
which means that we only have 4 people to contain Barrows, so...
No, but if Shadow isn't here, does that mean we are only going to talk about the wiki rating shit and not the other shit?
Yeah, we'll only use good maths this week.
Right. Well, also Shadow hasn't his sheets together anyway, because like I've been waiting for his whale calcs for a while now.
Shadow,
Yeah.
if you're
Shadow.
hearing this, we are disappointed in you. You got to
Yeah,
step up
very
your
disappointed.
game, man.
I don't think Shadow listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
Shame,
How
shame,
dare
shame.
you.
I mean, I don't, so I don't assume he does.
Heck,
Yeah.
he's barely even on it in the first place.
Poor Shadow. He's gonna... But yeah, it's fine. He's not gonna listen to this anyway.
Yeah, so we're just... Yeah, we can just roast him all night. In fact, let's have an entire episode just roasting Shadow since he's not here and he'll never listen to it.
Yeah, and also listeners, don't say anything to him. This will be our joke. Like, we hate Shadow, all of us together, and he'll never know.
Our sponsor this week is Hatred, and especially Secret Hatred. All
I
right,
like our sponsor this week. I love hating people in general.
all right.
We're only sponsored by things we support.
Oh, that makes me a little sad, actually. I can't even carry on this joke. It's too shit. I respect Shadow too much.
At least someone does.
But
Barris has no problems continuing.
so the banner this
Nothing
week
is sacred to Baros. Nothing at all.
there really is nothing. The banner this week is Final Fantasy VIII. So Baros is extremely excited, and he's as you said, you use no resources. That's impressive.
Yeah, I like opened my game and in the inbox there were like 2 squalls. Super weird. No, but
Right.
it was incredibly timely that we got the DV rewards as the FF8 banner came around. Because I mean, I'm really I usually pull for units that make me nostalgic. So which is why I went in for Zidane, and I really wanted Squall, but I was also very sure I was not getting him because I had nothing. So
Wait,
I used
can
the
I
DV tickets.
cut you for a second, Baros? You say
Yeah.
you're going for units who are nostalgic. How does Big Heart make you nostalgic in the first place?
Don't ask.
Yeah, that's not. Well, I'm just wondering if Baros found more money on the ground.
No.
That's
no,
how you
no.
funded your last poll.
I actually got the I got the Squall off of one of the 30% tickets from DV.
So you did use resources.
Yeah, you
Just
used
not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
30% ticket, and
They were
I'm
free
using
sources.
AUOCs.
Free sources.
Free sources, yes, free sources.
You
Yeah,
worked
I
very
actually
hard to
haven't
get
spent
those
money in
resources.
FFBE in a while now. Oh wait, that's
Man,
not true actually.
I guess that means I get all my units with no resources.
Yeah,
Free to play, by the way.
yeah. I mean, like I'm counting resources as, shit I actually spend money for. The rest is free, and I don't care about it. That's why I'm so terrible at hoarding, because I see no value in it.
That explains everything, actually.
Speaking of pulls, I guess I just did like the 3 Final Fantasy VIII tickets that you get from 20k points, and I got a Cipher. So
Ooh,
Oh,
not
wow.
bad.
I got 3 blues, none of them on banner, since there is no banner blue unit.
Right.
Alright,
Yeah,
today's
that makes
alternate
perfect sense,
sponsor.
actually.
it would actually be really impressive to get an on banner blue.
That's true. Do they even do those anymore? Like, when was the last time we had a 5-star maximum on banner unit?
Well,
Caroline?
can go
But
far.
that used to
Well,
be.
they were.
I've now
event
occupied
units.
Dream for at least 15 minutes. Let's move on.
Wait, when was the last time we actually got a blue?
I'm finding out. So
Was
you
it
guys can
Caroline?
move on, and I'll get back to you.
Caroline.
was an event unit.
Who's Caroline?
Yeah.
One of the
She was
story
from that
event
one.
units.
Winry. Winry was the most
It
recent
was-
one.
It was
Oh,
from
okay.
that Eldor 5.0 event,
Gotcha.
Caroline. But yeah, Winry
Gotcha,
would be the
gotcha,
last actual one, I
indeed.
think.
So
I
this
think-
week,
Sorry, go ahead.
so this week,
You're
kidding.
right there.
It's fine. It's fine. Nobody's interrupting you,
Is it
Hazard. You can go
okay?
on.
He's just baiting out the cotton train.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Cotton Chain is too busy doing Weedle Community Day.
So this banner we've got another version of Squall. We've got Cipher. Those are the two 7-stars that are on the banner. We've got 2 random anime people I don't care about, and then we've got Quistis, who is a free Blue Mage 7-star character who actually looks pretty cool. So we'll get into the 3 that we care about, and we'll also have a discussion about Gabranth and why the crap he isn't here on Global. So this is a very
And also,
exciting
who cares,
episode.
kind of.
Hey, no, come on. We've
No. This is going to be a fun episode because I have literally no idea about well, I know kind of who he is from FF12-ish, but unit-wise, I don't know. So I'm going to enjoy learning about this unit.
Shadow's
Yeah.
gonna be
I
so
think-
sad that he missed us talking about FF12.
It really is.
No. We're not going to talk about FF12 because that's a garbage fire.
It's also interesting
Oi.
that the good timing of this is that Gabranth just got a Neovision form in JP today. So
It's got
there's that.
basically the
There
same,
is that.
the same unit design as his old one did.
Well, you got to save money on sprite designs, right? I mean,
That's
have
true.
the newest units Have they actually released a CG for the
Wait.
newer units yet?
Remember-
Rain got his, but
Remember
it's a couple missing.
the fan art contest where someone just did the same thing. They pieced together a bunch of art that had already been created into one unit,
Oh, yeah.
and eventually got caught and booted.
Well, there was a sprite that that took a bunch of parts of sprites from
Exactly.
the game and recolored them. But there was also one that was just actual artwork, but that was just taken
Cobalt.
from other people.
You know, that happened in my
anyway.
high school English class, actually. I remember we were supposed to write a murder mystery of sorts. That was our final project. And the teacher provided 2 examples from the previous class, and they were pretty well written. And so what I did is I copied and pasted a sentence of each one into Google, and lo and behold, it was copied and pasted from another story in Google, both of these stories with the names
Oh, boy.
and dates and, some of the things changed, but absolutely completely lifted from the internet.
I mean, imagine how much it must have sucked to be a teacher, like an older teacher in the early internet era. So older as in you're not really internet savvy, you don't really care about it, right? And it's also so early so that you don't know it's the biggest thing ever. And then all these fucking kids that just plagiarize everything. And you don't know, must have sucked.
Yeah. I mean, and while we're on the topic of Final Fantasy VIII units, let's talk about
So this
Cipher.
is a great example of how interesting these units gets are.
Every week I feel like we've got at least 1 or 2 units that really just don't move the needle in interest
Okay.
at all.
All right. I resent this because I like FF8, although I do agree, these units are nothing special.
So I'm going to try something different this
So
week.
like
and
Zidane,
we'll
you
see
mean?
if other people actually go along with it. So Squall
say Zidane?
Squall is a boring chainer. He does an amount of damage that makes him not relevant to the meta. And let's move on to the next unit.
Yeah.
I mean, there are 1 or 2 interesting things.
God damn it.
I mean, my hot take about, or probably not hot take about Squall's kit, just to summarize, is Squall is an Esther clone.
Oh,
Yeah.
ouch.
I described him on Discord as Squall is the bottom text of chainers. They made a chainer, and then they added the damaging seals and the chaining seals, and then they just stopped. They didn't tune his damage to make him good. They didn't give him any utility. They even forgot to add an imbue to one of his imbues.
But he has an amazing CGLB. Also, you know,
Big
That's the
laser.
thing, all the budget went into the CGLB, they forgot to allocate it to actual unit design.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I said this once before, right? That I don't think they care about the mainline Final Fantasy units because they don't have to. People are gonna pull for them anyway. That's like,
Terra resents that.
No, I mean, didn't you see he got an amazing global exclusive
Yeah,
buff
that was so weird.
adds a cooldown to his casting, which improves his alternate rotation that's still worse than his main one.
I think Barros hit it on the head with the first 5 words, which is, I don't think they care.
Yeah, no, I just don't, like, they don't have to. They're going to make money anyway. But, okay, you do have to realize that you now can build the ultimate meme team. You can now put 1 CG Cloud and 2 Squalls into a team, or the other way around, I guess, if you're perverted, and just do the LB every turn route for them. No, because, like, literally you just do 2 CG Clouds. But yeah, you know, like, you can do 2 Squalls, 1 CG Cloud as the ultimate meme team.
Good luck hearing them.
Yeah, exactly. If you can.
Why no one wants to use Esther?
Why would you want to use Esther? She's the worst version of Squall.
Because unlike Squall, she's a girl in a bunny suit, which is cuter than just emo.
Yeah, I
male
fucking hate her
Squall.
win animation. It looks so horrible. Anyway,
Are you assuming Esther's gender in 2020?
oh yeah, that's actually true. Did we like have a confirmation on Esther's gender?
It's directly specified by game data.
Okay. All right, so yeah, nothing special about Squall,
Checkmate
unfortunately.
atheists.
I'm sad to say it. I would have loved Squall to be great. I loved FF8, but I mean, I pulled for him anyway, and I'm gonna use him.
The must be
He's usable.
So, despite your best efforts, we still spent like almost 10 minutes
Yeah.
talking
But
about
listen,
Squall.
I want to tell you all just how badass Squall is, okay?
3 minutes.
Because there is
Here we go.
another banner unit on this banner, and I'm going to tell you how badass Squall is after we talk about this unit, and that's Cipher. So, Cipher is the game's best support chaining evade tank, right?
Cipher the Sky Dragon.
Which game? FF8 or this
No,
one?
this one. Like in FF8, he's just a giant douche.
Oh, okay.
The best support chaining or the best like damage dealing?
Well, I would say the best damage dealing evade tank, because like you can still get reasonable damage and support chain every turn while keeping provoke up. That's literally his only thing going for him, I guess.
Reasonable is a
But
bit of a
barrels.
stretch, but it's
But Barros, he's
not.
Yes.
I know better than to throw myself under the cotton train. Go.
Yeah, you can hear it coming and just dodge the fuck out of the way.
look, Barros.
Oh, now you're quiet.
Look, Barros. Cipher has nothing on Canny Crow, okay, as an evade tank.
Yeah, that's no, absolutely. But and I guess like we should also mention that for the upcoming trial, the Behemoth Trial, he's also very easy to gear and use for that trial.
Is he really better
He's
than
got like
Zahn?
50%. He's got 50% innate evasion, which is really high, and then another like 10 on his TMR and 20 on his STMR. But he is TDH, so that lessens it a bit. I remember back when we had discussion about Zidane, we were talking like about Behemoth Trial, and there was comparisons to like Cipher and being able to do that, and I was a bit iffy about Zidane being able to do it in comparison to Cipher, like within turn limit. And now I would like to retract that uncertainty because Cipher is worse than I thought.
Also, we checked with Sinzar, and Sinzar did say that Zidane could do it within the turn limit.
Yeah, and I mean Cipher does have very similar damage to Zidane, really.
The problem with using a damage dealer as your provoke evasion unit is there's actually a few problems. The first one is that when you're gearing for evasion, even with that much innate evasion, it gives you less room to slot in killers, resists, anything like that. And for damage dealers, it's especially bad because your provoke tank might need death immunity, and that's going to be really rough because you definitely don't use a shield because you can't use Genji shield, and you really don't want to use an accessory because that's evasion you have to make up somewhere else.
Well, not for
accessories
Cipher,
are the
though.
best place to get evasion.
I mean, Cipher literally needs like a dodge roll, right? Or he has 70 innate?
50.
Yeah, 50, but with his TMR he has 60, right?
You mean you're not giving
60 with
him
his TM,
titles
but
STMR?
yeah, if you have one of the dodge STMRs, it's less bad, but then you're still looking at just trying to slot in all of this stuff that he needs. And it's generally preferable to have your evasion tank be a support unit or something. Somebody who doesn't care as much if they have to run Genji shield or something.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But I guess like the point is, in the right scenario, you might actually be able to compress enough to, bring in a fully whaled out CG Cloud or something that just...
Yeah, but it's not just the evasion that's a problem, or it's not just the gearing that's a problem. It's also, like, let's say the boss does a dispel. All of a sudden, if your provoker is a chainer, then they lose their imbues, they lose their attack buffs, and your damage takes a big hit. So you have to worry about that too. This isn't going to be a problem on every fight, but it's enough of a problem on enough fights that I just don't think it's enough to make a big splash.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's
his attack buff is undispellable looking at it, which is good, but he would have to re-imbue.
I think it'd be fun anyway. Like I think it's interesting that this type of strategy is available in the first place. Regardless of how supremely viable it is, right? It's just kind of fun. It's like I like those kind of units.
It's nice to see a unit design that isn't just another carbon copy chainer.
Yeah.
It's funny because we started with how like boring chainers they were, but yeah, he does actually have a bit of a point of interest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use him because I don't use evasion, but he is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, why does Squall not have wind in view? What's going on here?
Squall has wind in view. What do you mean?
No, he has a wind in peril. He does not have a wind in view.
Wait.
He has 3 Barretts. 2 of them are imbues and imperils. The last one is only an imperil.
Oh, really? I thought that was just true for his cooldown, because his cooldown only, of course, imperils 2 of the elements. But I thought the wind was actually an imbue. I didn't check thoroughly. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird.
My question is, why are both Squall and Cipher so interested in Barret from Final Fantasy VII?
Okay. I have a better question.
Well, that's understandable.
Is it supposed to be Bullet?
No.
It isn't. Okay.
Barret is an actual name.
No, I mean, like I was just not sure if it's like this weird Japanese translation that happened for OG Squall, and then they just kept running with it.
Oh,
okay. You guys do notice on Cipher that he does have a magic ability with physical damage.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, why does he have Chaos Wave Awaken?
Obviously for Bloody Moon.
I have not played Final Fantasy VIII. I would imagine that's a reference to him being something of a mage in that game, or at least having some kind of magic skill.
Nah.
But now that Hanson mentioned it, I would love to see someone clear Bloody Moon with Cipher. Listeners, if any of you can do that, take a video, link it to me, and please show me. It'll be beautiful.
But I mean, people did it with Roberta. Why wouldn't they do it with Cipher?
It's like that.
So, okay.
That's has lower defense than SPR. This is doable.
And you might have an issue with there might be problems with the Earth Apostle, but with Sylvie, Tsukiko, Tiamara, and Fire, it probably wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, so now we've talked about these chainers. Now let me tell you why Squall is so more badass than Cipher in reality. So like, in Final Fantasy VIII, Squall and Cipher were sparring, and Cipher got a bit carried away and cut Squall across his face, which is like his signature scar going across his nose, right? Squall got so upset that he fucked his girlfriend, so Cipher's girlfriend, and then killed his employer. That's just how badass Squall is.
Sounds more like he's kind of petty.
I mean, like, it sounds pretty badass to me.
Barros, I feel I'm missing a lot of context. Can you tell me what exactly is the story of Final Fantasy VIII?
So the story...
No.
Okay, no, I'm not doing this. But it's actually a very, very good game, okay? Like, people give it a lot of shit, and they should, because it has some crippling game mechanics, but it's actually like Final Fantasy. I mean, like, looking at it from the Final Fantasy angle, it has a really, really good story. I'm gonna say it has a better story than OG Final Fantasy VII if you just care about the story.
I feel like I've heard this exact conversation before.
Yeah, I literally said the same words like 5 episodes ago, or 10.
Oh, I know. I was trying to make a joke, but let's carry on.
I mean, to be fair, Barros, there's not much to compare with when you're talking about modern Final Fantasy stories. Like, there's a pretty low bar to...
Well, I mean, but that would still place it among the best ones. Like, it's better than 15, it's better than 12. 9 is different, so I wouldn't compare the two games.
How can you say it's better than 12? How can you call it better than 12?
Because 12 is horrible. What do you mean, how can I call it better than 12?
Shadow, wherever he is right now, just broke out in a cold sweat over this conversation.
They just had a nosebleed for like no reason.
He's twitching.
Yeah. It's like, what is happening?
Also, I just comment that it's not quite as bad as with this version of Squall, but they are so unoriginal when naming that anything related to him, it's just like, just slap lion on it. Probably heart as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the original was like, we have Squall Lionheart, whose TMR is Lionheart, and whose STMR is a lion's heart, and his limit burst is Lionheart.
Is his nickname Lion Heart?
No, it's his
Probably.
last name.
Now we have Lone
It
Lion.
was like
Squall
that Final Fantasy
with
III
Lionheart
banner,
Plus.
where it's like Luna's clothes, Arya's ribbon. Like, really? That's the best you got?
But you know what? I actually like that.
I don't mind that because it helps me remember what the name is.
Yeah, I was just
when
going to
I'm
say,
looking
it
for
makes it so much easier. I won't let us SDMR.
Use simpletons.
Do you know how annoying it is to find my STMR rods?
No, because you just sort by magic descending.
Well,
That's
I
true.
always sort by attack just so I don't have to change it, but then I have to remember how much attack they have.
Oh, God.
Oh no, just
I
sort by weapon type.
It's so much faster just to resort.
Yeah.
But if I sort by weapon type, then I have to scroll through all of my stupid, useless event weapons to get to the good ones.
Yeah, I was like, I just redo filtering. I've trained myself to just do that all the time. I just change filtering
Yeah, I
constantly.
change filtering so much, and
Yeah.
it's much faster.
Well, I'm just saying, that if you filter for that, they end up at the top of that weapon type. So the best weapons end up at the top. You see them first.
Yeah, no.
Or you literally throw all your good weapons through item mode so it's easier to find them.
I've run out of things to do in Item
Yeah,
World.
me too.
I'm now running Ancient Sword because it has the ability Old, which is my favorite named ability in the entire game. It's like, you've been struck with
wait.
Old. And all your
No,
stats
I thought
have been decreased.
I thought you meant the good ancient sword, and I was like, wait, isn't that like a really normal thing to run through Item World? You know, the one from one of the trials.
Yeah, I feel like the Old Sword is laughing at me particularly.
It's like, old.
Old.
Hazard,
Like,
I
you're too old
blame
to be
you for
playing
this.
this game.
You never run out of things to do in item world if you can never get a freaking rare in item world.
Oh, Cotton, I feel so bad for you. Are you having bad luck in this game for the first time in your life?
Yeah, Cotton realizes
I have
not
gone
speak.
for this item world, I've gone from the start with 0 freaking rares, and I can't even get 20% spirit on full class SDMR. Okay, what is
It's okay
this?
though. This item world runs for like a month.
Oh shit! Yeah, you reminded me about something.
like
I
2
need
weeks.
No,
to
it's
run.
only 2 weeks.
I need to run Rena's TMR, I guess, because you want to use that, right?
I was gonna wait and get her with the ticket and trust coins, but then I realized I was like, I should probably just run her TMR, and so I did it just to get her TMR to run through Iron World.
Yeah, I grabbed her after the most recent maintenance as well. Because I was like, oh, there's no
Yeah, I
more
did the same thing.
enhancements.
I actually
Big
didn't
sad.
sell units. I just got her with the ticket.
Now, talking about item world, we do have one more unit on the banner. Well, one more Final Fantasy 8 unit that I haven't touched yet.
That's true.
Quistis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
But
she
before
actually
I
has
start, I
a
would-
really cool. Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, no, before I start, I want to ask you guys. So, considering that her STMR is a high magic with magic through duel, are you guys rushing the Mock King event so you can get the STMR before item world finishes?
No,
Not really, no.
because
It's too much effort
When does it
yeah,
finish?
this week.
Yeah.
But then it's not going to be any
That's like
problems
5 days.
getting
You
600k
can get
before
it in
Thursday.
5 days. Yeah, that's easy.
I
Just
mean, it's
get
like
good.
whether you're going to.
I only just got the prism because I don't have good
Okay,
bonus units.
I got the prism,
Or luck.
but I used a Moogle, like a normal Moogle, to get her TMR because it saves me 150,000 currency, and I have so many freaking Moogles I need to get rid of.
That hurts me a bit.
What you guys could say, or you could just not get the TMR.
Yeah.
But it's a good one. It's decent TMR.
when using a dual wield mage, I don't find it hard to cap Mad typically because you don't have many killer materia, and at least for me, I'm getting a ton of Mage from all the other stuff I have. So
Muscle
having
is getting
item
a
roll
lot of
upgrades on
Mage.
Twisted
Was I the only one?
STMR isn't a big deal.
But enough about your personal life.
Yeah.
No, but I think the 20% HP and the reduction in MP costs, those are nice things. I think your TMR is definitely worth having.
I guess it depends on what you have.
Well, and
Like-
the Gumi screwed up and gave us 10% Moogles instead of 5% Moogles for her, and they decided not to revert it for like the first time ever in their history. They decided not to revert a beneficial bug.
Wait, oh, that was
And
I thought it was the other way. Oh, okay, cool. So it was a beneficial bug.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And so you can now get them for a little bit cheaper if you
Oh,
want.
nice.
So congrats to
I
Gumi.
mean, her TM isn't setting the world on fire, but it's pretty good, especially for newer players. So
Yeah,
I would
I'll
still
probably use it.
prioritize her STMR, but
Oh yeah, her SMR is actually really, really freaking solid.
her STMR is arguably the best mage weapon in the game.
And if you happen to have AIKD STMR, it goes especially well with that because you get the whip, whip,
Mouthful.
and the 50%.
And another 50%
Yeah,
magic.
it's pretty nice. So it's a nice combo to have. Do not put it on your MK units. How dare you guys put double freaking AIKD STMR units on multi-battle things? I hate you.
Yeah, don't put
Xenochrist.
that on. Just put on Bond of the Aeons and delete his STMR and
Berserker Dagger.
Bahamut Fina's
okay.
STMR.
Nexus
get
got
Twin
me.
Scarf and a
Nexus
Big
got
And
me this time.
Don't
He got me with his
forget
Avenger dagger.
Avenger is very important.
Yeah, Nexus got me with his lightning, like attacking 6 times with Avenger. It was really freaking stupid. I almost deleted him as a friend this time.
Wait, you mean you didn't delete him? I wonder how many friends he actually lost on that stun.
The last time we talked about it, he was like 50 or 60 people he lost in a matter of 2 days.
I can imagine.
Wow.
So he's still doing it though.
So Quistis has one thing going for her, and that's this whole like school teacher bondage thing, right?
I thought we talked about this, Baros.
Yeah, we did. I was
In that
saying
we
before
weren't
the
going to
episode
talk
started,
about this.
I was saying how like Pornhub does these investigations into what porn categories work in different countries.
And our next topic is Gabranth.
Wait, are we actually not going to talk about Quistis kid? I mean, look at
No.
her. She has a 6 times.
Yeah.
She has a
She's
6
like-
times dual wheel chain cap. How good is that?
So Quistis has damage skills.
Not
They
at
are
all.
utterly irrelevant. She does like 2.5 billion damage per turn, which is around pre-enhancement Kurosame, which is very, very, very bad.
Yeah. So nothing more to say.
Well, she does have a few
as
imperils.
a healer / support unit, she does like Kiraja every turn, and then she also does 40% mitigation and some LB fill. So she's decent in that respect.
Mighty Garden White Wind bot number 3.
Also, I just want to say I never fucking use my Quistis as a healer in the actual game. That's so weird. That feels really weird.
Yeah.
Because she was all about whipping stuff,
like-
you know?
I feel like in all of the Final Fantasy games that I've played where there are blue mages, they usually end up being better as support than as offensive units.
No, I just literally auto-attacked with her all the time.
So with Quistis, you can kind of compare her most directly with Quina, I would say, because the real moves that you're going to be using are Mighty Guard,
Mighty Garden White Wind bot number 1.
correct, and I would say they're pretty comparable. I think that Quina would be better overall, although Quistis's 40% mitigation is on the move, and Quina relies on counters to activate it, but Quina's actual moves are pretty much better than Quistis's
Quina
otherwise.
does have
Yeah.
typed mitigation. So if you have another source of general mitigation, then Quina is definitely better. Otherwise, it kind of depends.
Depends on how well you can proc the counter on Quina.
Wait, can Quina actually do MP support?
This is such an interesting discussion, guys. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to say, after all the amount of, time we waited for blue magic, it's been such a disappointment as a
It
system.
could have been great.
Well, I mean, it's not really effectively blue magic. Yeah, you have to beat enemies
Yeah,
to
it's
get it.
just
It's
skills.
just grind two or three quests and then you're done.
Yeah.
It's not like go out and search for it because I just don't think that blue magic would work in FFBE. It's like in a regular Final Fantasy game, it works because you're going through a story and unlocking new areas, and over the course of this 40 to 80 hour game, you go from nothing to a very versatile unit, and there's lots of granularity in between.
Yeah, like in any other FFB or in any other Final Fantasy game, you should get 0 blue magic, really, because you don't care about that shit. I've never cared about blue magic. Actually, in Final Fantasy 5, I used the blue mage.
It's actually, at least in 7, it's pretty strong if you get it at the right time. It's like Big Guard from those octopi on the coast is very useful early on.
I would say in 9 as well, Quina is an absolute beast with blue
she
magic.
breaks the game.
The thing is, you have to know where to go to get the abilities.
Yeah, well, she's got an ability called Frog Drop, where you play this minigame of catching a whole bunch of frogs in a whole bunch of different marshes, and it does it does maximum damage when you catch a certain amount of them. It's really good, but her White Wind is really freaking good. Her Mighty Guard is really freaking good. So it's actually pretty useful. I think what they're going to do in FFBE eventually is give us the ability to multicast, and that's going to change it to be actually significantly better, I think.
Yeah, I actually was about to say that, like, the only thing Alim or Gami needs to do to fix blue magic is literally make them dual castable at the very least. Like, make them be able to be dual casted using a simple dual cast material. That will fix a lot of the problems with blue magic now.
But I'm with Muspel here. Like, we don't really have blue magic. We have unlockable character abilities.
No.
Like, it's just... It would have been so much cooler if you had to revisit the Chamber of Arms and, like... It's a 1% chance for the boss to cast the ability you want to learn.
Barrows,
Stop.
no.
So you have to, like, really
stop giving them
the
ideas.
Chamber of Arms 10 times daily for a month.
It's really funny, though, that when you mention Chamber of Arms, myself and Dream get excited, and Muspel gets very angry.
I don't know why. Muspel was just terrible at the game back then. I think that's it.
What do you mean back then?
My actual more reasonable suggestion for blue magic would be, like, have each of the Scorn trials basically have one blue magic that a certain subset of the blue mages could learn. So basically,
they used to do that, kind of. That's how we got material like Toxic Rain. It was the game's take on blue magic.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with the blue magic now is you've got something like Mighty Guard, where we've got like 3 or 4 different versions of it. So it's not really the same spell. It's not like Tornado, which is always the same across all magic. It is just basically character abilities that are named the same thing. So it's really kind of a poor design at this point.
And it could have been cool. Like, I could have really seen, there is like White Wind, for instance, and then you just have to grind these units for this low rate of them casting it. Because that's kind of what it was about in the Final Fantasy games. Blue magic was all about discovery. It was all about facing different enemies, like liberating them, seeing what abilities they can cast if you can blue magic them. But here, it kind of just like doesn't fill that. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the thing to think about in this game is because in each regular Final Fantasy game you only really have one blue mage. So the thing to think about for FFBE would be having a way for the different blue mages to still have different kits and not just wind up all being the same once they've learned all their skills.
Yeah, but that depends very much on your skill design. Like, you could design these skills so that they are a complement, and then like a chainer can use, and then a chainer would only want to use certain amounts of them. Like, let's say there's an imbue, so only chainers would care about those, and it's like it can be done. I'm just saying they're lazy.
I think we've established that bit a very long time ago.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's like 10 different ways it could have been done that would have been more interesting.
So I've been thinking about something. Do you all guys eat meat?
I don't know where.
No. This is not no. I'm not meaning like dick. I'm actually talking about meat from animals. So the stuff you would put in a grill.
Nervous agreement.
Why didn't you just ask if we were vegetarians?
Yes. That's a better question. Is anyone a vegetarian or a vegan?
Vegan is.
What?
God damn it.
Free to play vegan.
Did I mention he's free to play? He also does CrossFit.
Yeah. Also, he never spends on this game ever.
Free to play or fail to pay.
That's what free to play means, Barrows.
Sorry?
Yeah, his EX point just glitched to a really high value.
All right, so what were you going to say? What was the whole point of
I just wanted to ask you, like, so I'm looking for inspiration. So what's like your favorite type of meat?
I mean, bacon? Is that a question?
Yeah, that's a type of meat, I guess. Yeah, bacon is nice.
Curry?
Steak's good.
What did you say, Cotton?
I don't think curry is a type of meat.
Yeah, it's a way.
It's a dish you
way
prepare
of preparing
with
meat, I guess.
It's a way to.
What would you put in your curry?
I'm really wondering where this is going.
No, nowhere. I'm like just
Yeah, I don't know either. But I'm just going with it.
Like, it's a more interesting discussion than Quistis versus Quina, so I'm like rolling with it.
I knew it. I was like, this is going to be like cup noodles from last week.
Is this some kind of like roundabout thing about how Quina is strange gourmand Quina?
No, not at all.
No,
actually, I just
Muspel, you give him too much credit. There's no actual like impressive or creative thought behind this. He's just trying to distract us.
Let's just let it
Okay,
go.
let's talk about Gabranth.
Oh yes, I want to
No,
learn
wait,
about
before
Gabranth.
we go to Gabranth, I just had an interesting shower thought. Like, there's two similarities between Quistis and Quina. First, they're both blue mages, and second, why does their name start with Q-U-I? Like, Quina, Quistis.
That is true, actually. I never thought about it. And their games are also sequential.
And
So Gabranth is a physical tank and
So wait,
defense-based
does this
trainer.
mean Quina is actually Quistis? And Quina is a girl?
well, that's
Quina
actually
is
undetermined.
Quina. That's the best thing you can
So
say. about
everyone,
it.
like listeners, just send me all your Quina Quistis ships. I need to like investigate into this area now. If you have any hentai, that's fine too. Just go ahead. So, Gabranth.
Hear that, guys? PM Barrows spam his PMs. Okay, go for it.
So Gabranth is a unit that came out in Japan in 2017, 2018, and in GL he was replaced by Zargabath on that banner,
Wait,
and then we never ever
so
got it.
2017, Dream wasn't legal back then. Oof.
Wait, what?
This is something Barrows keeps track of apparently.
I mean,
Also,
it's good to know
please
so you
stop.
never end up in trouble, okay?
This is also
Wait, but depending on the country, Dream still isn't legal, right? With like the legal age in America is 21, isn't
No,
it?
what? No.
That is
Well, I
not
already
what
made
Barrows
that.
means.
That's exactly what I meant, though. Wait, what are we talking about? By the way.
All right, so Gabranth is a defense-based physical chainer slash.
So I was talking about... No, I'm just kidding.
okay. Wait, but I do have to say that's why Zargabath's one of his nicknames is Zargabranth
Oh,
because he's the replacement for Zargabath or for Gabranth in Global.
Yeah. So
It's very important.
like I said,
Just
he's
wanted
a
Thank you,
defense-based chainer, which is
It's
for
funny how we don't
starters,
actually
we
let
will never
Master
get into
finish
this
his
discussion.
sentence.
yeah, I mean, like, is
for
Muscle
starters,
even in the
a
podcast? I don't know.
defense-based chainer.
I think he
defense-based-
muted us,
God damn it.
I'm sorry, Muscle.
Conversation is banned.
Okay.
A defense-based
let's-
chainer is a bad idea, for the same reason that Schwen was a bad idea. If you make a damage dealer that is essentially immune to damage, then they break the game if their damage isn't terrible. Now, it's my understanding that Gabranth's damage actually wasn't good when he came out, so he didn't break the game, but I'm not sure that was
Yeah.
intentional. I think they just made a bad unit by accident, like they often do.
But does Envy
Wasn't
Gabranth
that-
follow the same formula? Is he also a defense-based chainer?
Yeah, I was about to say,
He
like,
is.
Gabranth making a defense-based chainer is not in the same type bad idea as Xuan. Like, it's literally a bad idea because he's affected by the new damage formula.
All right. What's the difference between a literal
I'm
bad
not
idea
actually
versus
sure
a
about
figurative
with
bad
or not.
idea?
To be fair, Gabranth predated the new damage formula.
Right.
That's true, but I'm not actually sure because his attacks are physical type. So, but I'm not sure if the log formula only affects ones that are attack scaling or not.
Also,
It used to also affect them. Maybe they've changed that since then, because the last time I checked this was many years ago.
So wait.
When
Didn't
Victor
people
came
test
out.
it out with,
But
like, the
there's
Victor?
no
There's
good
X
flat
Victor?
defense weapons either.
Well, no, it doesn't scale off of flat defense on weapons. It still scales off of the attack on weapons.
Yeah, but the point is, like, he can kind of just use an attack weapon because there isn't good defense ones like there is for Spirit.
Which
Yeah,
also
but if you
means
use an
it's harder
attack
to
weapon,
get
wouldn't
high
his
stats.
damage tank?
Choo-choo.
Sorry, what was that, Cotton?
Like, but if
Yeah, I didn't catch either of your sentences.
no, like, but if he uses an attack weapon, wouldn't his defense be really, really low too?
His defense would be lower than Schwen's SPR.
Spirit.
But okay, does Hazard want to add something?
I was just saying the last defense-based chainer we had was Victor Marchenko, right? I mean, that's basically the last time they've
Yeah.
done this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only one we've gotten in GL.
Yeah, I mean, people were really hyped up about Victor Marchenko at the time. For
Victor
some reason, I think Muscle was
arrived
one
as
of them.
one of the earliest 7-star units when every single 7-star unit felt crazy good because we were comparing them to 6-star units. And he wasn't good, but
Yes.
he was better than the 6-star units.
Do you guys remember when Delita was the top tier chainer when 7-star units came
Yeah,
out?
that 1 week I remember.
How could we forget? you won't stop telling us about it.
Yeah. So okay.
This is the only time
Listen.
that regular Delito was really good.
Also, like, so Final
That's
Fantasy
not true.
12's story is literally like an ass fuck in a swamp, so I don't really remember, but is Gabranth Bash's brother?
I have no idea.
Yes.
Does anyone except Shadow know? Can this be what triggers Shadow to join?
Yeah. Like,
Can we
Yes.
raise him from the dead?
Yes, Gabranth is Bosch's brother.
okay, Gabranth is Bash's brother, right?
His identical twin
Right,
brother.
right, yeah, yeah. Okay, then I still remember correctly, because I mean, I did replay the game fairly recently with the Zodiac edition, so... Shadow's writing in chat, his real
Then
name is
why
Noah.
are you dissing Final Fantasy 12, Barros? How
So
dare
the,
you?
the other thing that makes Gabranth unusual is that at 7-star he actually gets cover, like AoE physical cover. And that's very different from Xuen, who doesn't really have cover. Like, Xuen has single target cover, but that's not something you typically use. So, with Gabranth, you could
Gabranth
hypothetically...
is an actual tank.
Sorry, what?
I was saying, unlike Xuen, Gabranth is an actual
Yeah,
tank.
you could hypothetically try to
Is
make
what?
him tank a fight and also deal damage. In practice, I don't think it would work very well, because if you try to gear him for pure defense, his HP is not going to be good enough, especially if you need to get him killers in there or something. So, I think it just doesn't work out the way you want it to.
So why did we
But-
never get this unit? Like, what's the story behind it? Like, why is it such a huge meme? I mean, the character sounds terrible.
I mean, at best we have crazy tinfoil hat theories. My working theory, which is a very crazy tinfoil hat theory, is that the person who designed Gabranth's sprite actually like stole the art from somewhere, so we never got it in GL because they had to do some kind of settlement with somebody who sued them in Japan, and they still don't have rights for it in
That
the
is a
US.
tinfoil hat theory. That's
that
for sure.
that is a crazy theory, but we've never gotten him, and it's been 3 years.
There's been
So-
radio silence from Gumi on it too. Like they've never addressed it.
But
once.
also, why is this like a meme? Because like the unit's obviously total ass. So why do we even care?
because Gabranth's STMR is incredible.
Oh, tell me more.
His STMR is a helmet with 81 defense, 1000 flat HP, and 20% HP.
Holy shit!
Yeah, basically the best thing we have in global is Grand Helm Plus, I think. Is that the best physical?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so,
Especially
yeah.
if you wear heavy
There's
armor, I
Grand
guess.
Plus, there's Skull Plate, in slightly.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a fairly strong STMR. Okay, so now I kind of get why maybe people were hoping for us to get him.
No, but I think right now it's less hoping to actually get him, more just it's a meme. Like Gabranth is literally a meme in GL
I think he
now.
mainly became a meme because, like, until recently, it was basically like the only mainline unit that we'd ever skipped.
Until recently, has there been another one?
Well, it's
We-
now
We've
it's
skipped a
seeming
bunch
like
of stuff. Like we
there's
skipped Cloud of
4
Darkness.
banners left to skip.
Trying to think who else.
Yeah, Elnath, Cloud of Darkness. I mean, we're skipping a lot because they're just...
LNAF isn't a mainline unit, she
Yeah.
doesn't count.
And we know why. Like, they are rushing towards NV. Like, we already know this. NV is coming this
No,
anniversary,
Varus,
and
no.
that's like what's happening.
All right, but this is the only unit
gonna
that's
say
ever
that's-
been on a banner where we've gotten the rest of the banner, but not that specific unit, right? Like the Cloud of Darkness thing. Okay, that whole banner hasn't come out, but we got the Balthier banner, and instead of Gabranth being with him, it was Zargabath. That's
And the
never
fact-
happened before.
Gabranth isn't the only weird thing about that banner, because Zargabath is also the only global exclusive unit who is not like from FFBE or a collab. He's from a mainline Final Fantasy game.
Technically, Barbarica and the Four Fiends were global
Oh
exclusive.
yeah, well I guess that's true. Yeah,
Wait, Barbarica? Isn't it like Barbarisha?
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say Barbarisha.
Jesus, Shadow, you need to
Shadow's being a
stop with
hipster
this
again.
bullshit.
Ah, Shadow's here. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say. By the way, Shadow's here.
See, I told you he broke into a cold sweat when Barros was just completely degrading Final Fantasy 12 earlier, and he rushed home to be on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I can really see him like sitting at home, and then like the hairs on the end of his neck stood up for some inexplicable reason, and then he knew, Barros is trash talking FF12. I need to join them.
There is slander afoot.
Yeah. So,
The weirdest thing about Zargaboth isn't that he was replacing Gabranth, it's that they chose Zargaboth of the 5 judges they could have chosen to make into a 5-star. He's literally the least emphasized of the 5, and they could focus on anybody
He
else.
has like a really big role in the ending. That's literally it. Or ish.
Supposedly, according to the Final Fantasy Wiki, Zargabath was supposed to play a bigger role in like a sequel spin-off thing to Final Fantasy 12 that never got made.
But I mean, maybe it was just a licensing thing. I'm pretty sure they had to pay more to license Gabranth, who is a bigger character in FF12, than Zargabath, who like literally nobody knows who it is. And maybe they just realized Gabranth wasn't that profitable in JP, so they just changed to Zargabath, who cost less for GL.
I almost wonder if there's just like an issue with Final Fantasy 12 in general, because Final Fantasy 12 has like no units. We literally haven't gotten any Final Fantasy 12 units since Zargabath, or since Balthier.
Yeah, well, they just got MVs though, right?
It's got more than 8
Yeah,
still,
I mean, in
probably.
Yeah,
Japan
and we have
they
some
finally
upcoming,
got around
yeah.
to it, but there was 3 years
Yeah.
where they had nobody.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
and
stuff.
wait, and that's also the only game that didn't get a CG protagonist, right?
Well, isn't Van from 12?
Oh yeah, Van is coming up. Yeah, I forgot.
And like,
I
is it
I
really
keep forgetting
big
the
deal?
Van is from Final Fantasy 12 because he was literally never in my
Also-
party. I don't know.
And Baros, thanks for bringing that up again, because it's actually Ramza's the only one that hasn't gotten it.
Well, okay, but Ramza is not mainline. He's not a mainline
yeah,
game.
Okay, but
Yeah.
even Final Fantasy Type 0 got it.
That is really weird, though.
yeah,
I agree.
Type
I
0
agree.
It's going to be great.
But Type 0 is a numbered Final Fantasy game.
You know,
True, there is a zero
Hey,
there.
but there is still hope. They do like FFT Cloud or something with the CGLB.
I swear they would make a Final Fantasy Tactics CG Cloud before doing CG Ramza.
That would be incredible. I would love to just see Hazard lose his shit.
So
I
funny.
would. That would be the last you've
You
ever
know
seen
what,
me.
Hazard? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that if they make a CG unit out of FFT, I think I'd prefer it to be like Delita, actually.
I mean,
That's what Hazard wants, isn't it?
like the thing is, Ramza's a great character, but I think he's not even like top 5 in that game. So I've never been like a huge Ramza fan in general. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I think Ramza's a great character, but yeah, like Delita, Agrias,
I mean, I think that
Beowulf, all better
Marching.
characters.
Yeah. The thing about Ramza is that he's very like he's the almost the silent protagonist trope, right? He interacts very, very little with the world and the other characters. It's kind of like Van,
Right.
where the story is run by other people, and
Yeah, except Ramza's not a freaking twerp that everyone
yeah,
hates.
exactly. Like Ramza's actually decent, but
Also, Marsh is discount Ramza, Muspel, because basically it looks exactly like Ramza, except he's a much, much worse character.
I feel like that's insulting Ramza more by implying that there is literally any resemblance between them.
Have you looked at the 2 different sprites? I mean, like it down to the like.
I'm not talking about the
Piece of
sprites. I'm
hair.
talking about as characters.
Oh, not as characters. No, Marsh is the villain, and Ramza is clearly the protagonist.
oh, we should get
This is
like
not the
Well,
discussion I
and
wanted to
this-
have tonight.
I mean, you seem to be thinking that I'm going to defend the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
no, but okay.
Are you?
No.
If we ever
No one
get
can.
Oh,
actually,
it was terrible.
but you know what?
Indefensible.
If we ever get NV units from Final Fantasy Tactics, that would be so cool, though, because then we need to get like one of the Lucavi characters where they actually switch into their Lucavi form in the Brave Shift. That would be so cool. Like, wait, what's Ramza's middle brother called? The one Dysadarg, right?
There's Dicer's oldest, and then Zalbag,
Oh, Zalbag was the one I
then
was
it's-
thinking about. The
and-
one you fight like
and
near
then
the end.
Ramza and Alma. Yeah, Zalbag's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to have Zalbag or Dicedark.
And Zalbag has an
I would love
amazing
to
Lucavi
regraph.
transformation too. Like when you fight him in that like catacomb, or not a catacomb, but like whatever. It's a really cool. Like he would be such a cool Brave Shift person.
Oh, I would love WeGraph for the same reason.
Oof! Yes, yeah, absolutely.
He was so great. He was a great character.
Yeah. I definitely think so.
But the thing is, okay, everyone from Final Fantasy Tactics should get an NV, or like
yeah, every character in there
just like
should just get an MV.
No, I mean all the ones that are in FFBE now, like Tifa got her NV and Red 13. They deserve it, right? But they can't skip the CG version. They really need to give us that. So they waited to give us CG Cloud, well, the actual Final Fantasy 7 CG Cloud, and they waited to give us that in the NV version, right?
Yeah.
We didn't get a 7-star version of him. Ramza should be
Well,
next.
it was
Yeah,
like,
it
he's the
makes
only one who
perfect
hasn't
sense.
gotten it.
Makes perfect sense.
Hazard, you've been saying that for a
Right.
very long time.
Okay, so,
I know.
so are we done with
It's never gonna happen.
I mean, technically, they already started the CG villains, though.
That pisses me off.
And then haven't
You know-
continued with it.
You know who's more upset?
Hey,
Just
you know
gone
what?
back to tons of
They'd probably do like
FFBE
CG Elmdor.
CGs.
Elmdor is literally a Sephiroth, so you'd probably sell, right?
He's way better than.
No, but I
Sephiroth.
mean, like, look at his appearance, right? He looks like a Sephiroth.
Oh yeah.
So
You know who's the most upset about this though, even more than me, is Nasta. I know Nasta really is hurting inside because he was planning to unload all of his ticket stash to get CG Ramza, and they never released
well,
it.
they might still. They might still. I'm still hoping
Do
that Square Enix
justice.
will get their shit together and actually make a Final Fantasy Tactics 2. That's
I've been hoping that
Barros
for
is
20
Square
something years.
Enix.
It's not gonna happen.
They will never get their shit together.
no.
Never.
I think
But the thing
most
is-
Square Enix, if they make a Final Fantasy Tactics 2, we'll all be disappointed and we'll all regret that decision.
No,
I
but
know.
the thing
I don't
is,
trust them anymore.
Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, and Final Fantasy 8 are from this era where something happened at Square Enix and they lost this talent. So they were making these mysterious plots and great games, and then just they lost it and never could really pick it up again. So I don't even think they could if they tried. And I don't know what the reason is. Like I have a theory that just like either talented people died or left them or something, or like the main authors. I don't know, but it's like
I feel like there's a Tetsuya Nomura joke in here for Shadow.
anyway. Are we
Wait,
done with
I
Gabranth?
think is it correct like that the next Final Fantasy is being developed by the 14 team?
By
There-
what?
I have not heard anything.
Wait, there's a next
Oh,
Final.
I've read about
I
something like
guess
that.
it could.
They have to skip 16 though because Brave Exvius is clearly Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, it's.
I know it's so
XXVI.
obvious. They have to make 17 now if they're gonna do another.
Yeah, they haven't announced anything yet,
Or that
and there
Or
was
just like
or they're going to release
a full
Exvius as a
console
PC
version
game.
Yeah.
of
Can you
XVS.
imagine the internet rage if they actually did skip to 17 and said that
That makes
Exvius
season
was
3,
16?
season 3 of FFBE a canon story. That's
Oh God, please, let's not do that. Let's not do that. But I was
all
kind
right,
of thinking
let's-
they were gonna announce it on the Final Fantasy event. Sorry, not the PlayStation event, but they didn't. So yeah, no.
No, you know what they have to do? They have to announce Final Fantasy 17 and shut down Exvius on the same day.
Oh
Shut it
gosh.
down for good. So everybody who wants to play what's now officially 16 can't.
All right, so I actually have an interesting
I mean,
topic to
speaking-
discussion.
I was just going to say, speaking of announcements, it's like a week before anniversary and we still haven't heard anything.
Oh, that's true. All right, so I have a real quick question for you guys. Rate the FFBE story versus the other FF title stories.
Oh come on, Jesus Christ!
No, all right, but do not include season 3.
including FF1 and 2, because those things barely have a
Ah,
story.
okay. So not including season 3 does switch things up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The story of FFBE ended at the end of season 2 with Flock.
Yeah.
This new story
did.
is has nothing to do with it. I mean, it's loosely based on reality, FFBE reality at least.
Yeah, and then you kind of also have to think about what format
At least.
it is as well. Like you have to give it some kind of handicap or credit for being an entirely different format and not being able to tell the story in the same way. But I think
Yeah.
but FFBE is definitely the most anime story of all the Final Fantasies. Definitely.
It has a very different tone. I think in terms of quality, it's probably similar to a bunch of other games in the series, but
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't
kinda
mean
average.
that people are going to like it just because they like the other ones, because it's so different.
Yeah.
Well, I've made this argument before, but I think most Final Fantasy stories are not very good in
Yeah,
general.
I definitely feel the same way. So
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying
exactly.
that Final Fantasy Brave Exvius has an incredible story, but neither do most Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Right. So, in comparison to what we have to compare with, it's I would say it's kind of middle to lower.
Hey, come on, God damn it, lead us out of this shit.
Get us out of here.
Well, I think we've had enough for tonight, and Shadow's back, so kind of killed the fun. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you all next week. Oh, and remember to send me
Yeah.
those slash fics. You promised.
Nobody promised.
No, I mean like people promised.
Who? Name names.
Did
Was it
they,
vegan?
though? Did they really?
I mean,
get
Nexus
nothing.
is definitely sending me a slash fic, isn't he? Right, Nexus? Nexus isn't listening.
Nexus has gone out for a cigarette, metaphorically.
Episode, right?
He's never coming back.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right. Good
Good
night.
night.
All right.
Goodbye.
Whatever.
Oh.